The idea of the system is that you have to feel everything before doing it. And the doing will appear naturally as a result of your feelings. I remember when I started playing with Emma, she asked me what was my purpose, and I remember that it was very strong in me. I said, I want to have the best connection possible with my instrument. And this was really my motivation. So my motivation is not to be able to play well. I think this is a very bizarre concept, and it's so unclear. It's much more clear the idea of feeling well playing piano. Hi, I am Bruno. I am a student, and I am here to make a kind of introductory video of the study of the system. I want to talk with you about primarily three things. The first is the whole concept of relaxation that is so important in the system and important to really understand what is and how we can really achieve it and what is not relaxation. The second thing is what you really have to feel, what you really have to achieve. And the third point is to understand if this system is for you or not. So the first concept is the concept of relaxation. And relaxation is a very difficult word because it's a word that is connected with a sensation that is not very clear to us. Maybe you think you know what's relaxation, and maybe you think about you laying down, and you think that's the relaxation. That's the relaxation of your body. And actually, relaxation is a very much sophisticated concept, because relaxation is, from a point of view of healthy tension, which is really the goal in the system, is actually a kind of way of tuning. There is a very great way of studying the awareness of your body, the awareness of your sensation, Alexander technique. I strongly suggest you to go to Alexander technique lessons. We maybe can talk about that in some video. While you are studying the system, I strongly suggest you, because in Alexander technique, relaxation or healthy tension is connected with a metaphor, and the metaphor is the tuning of an instrument, like the tuning of piano. So the idea is you have this string, and the string is tensioned. The idea is to tune the string in relation to the other strings in a way that is perfectly harmonic and is perfectly the frequency it has to have. This is exactly what is relaxation and healthy tension. Healthy tension is the tension in the right frequency. Is tuning into the right frequency. And the string here is not the metaphor for our body. The piano is the metaphor of our body, and the piano has a lot of strings. So the body is the same. We have a lot of strings, we have a lot of points, and these points are related to each other. So relaxation, that we call healthy tension, is actually this kind of relation in which you do the exact effort you have to do to achieve something. This is completely different than just relaxing, because just relaxing is not the idea. Because, like I said, if you just relax all the strings in your piano, your piano will sound like the worst piano ever. And there are other things related to this concept of relaxation that are very important. The only one I want to talk here is that you are not able to achieve a state of relaxing your hands alone. You have to get the help of someone, like in Alexander technique, or you can do meditation. This is the only way of achieving relaxation. The tension in your hands, they are not in your hands, they are in your mind. Your mind uses your hand in a way that is not efficient, that is not healthy. And so your hands, you feel tension. But this is your hands only saying to your mind that you are doing it wrong. You have to change your mind. And your mind in a very subconscious level, because the habits are here and we cannot really assess them. We have to change the foundation of the spirit, the foundation of your mind. So I strongly suggest you to do a meditation, but I strongly suggest you meditations related to breath work that simply change your perception and sensibility, especially in your hands. The second point is, what are you supposed to achieve? What are you supposed to feel? And here, that's a very great difference that you will perceive probably in your life as a student of some other teachers. You had probably this kind of thinking that you don't bother feeling tension, you don't bother feeling something is wrong. You simply want to achieve what the teacher wants you to achieve. You probably also have this thought that don't matter if you are feeling good, if you are feeling the things. What's matter if you are able to do them. So doesn't matter if you feel that melody or that phrasing. The important thing is you do. The system is exactly the opposite of this kind of thinking. The idea of the system is that you have to feel everything before doing it. And the doing will appear naturally as a result of your feelings. So when we talk about, for instance, intonation, that is related with phrasing, is related with musical form, is related to a lot of subjects, you don't need to really bother in the initial state if you are doing it. You have to bother if you are feeling it. And if you feel it, so naturally, you will do it. Why I am talking about this in the introductory level? Because every single time there is that instinct that we students have, that we are just wanting to make our teachers happy with the results of our playing. So we just do that. We just are like cheating sometimes. And sometimes that appeared, I just wanted to do that. And every single time I did that, she was like, there's something wrong. But when I just felt that element which I was studying it, but when it was just inside me, she really could read what was inside me. And then she very confidently would say, that's perfect, that's very good. So the idea here is completely different. You have to feel it. And you have to feel all the elements. You will not be able to do them if you don't feel. And I really strongly would suggest you Do not even bother to do it. So don't record yourself to see if you are doing it. Just bother to feel it. If you want to record yourself to see if you are feeling it. If it's clear that you are feeling it. And this is related to the last topic also, because the whole idea of the system is you have to be playing piano feeling well. You cannot play piano feeling unwell. That's why the system also includes a very strong statement about stage fright. Stage fright is something that is worked within the system. What kind of system would include that in its teaching if the system is not completely preoccupied with how you feel? The whole system is built on how you feel, how you have to feel. So this system is made for who really does not want just to please people or just to win competitions. This system is to who wants to really feel that you are able to express yourself through piano. This system is made for who wants to feel a good connection with the piano. I remember when I started playing with Emma, she asked me what was my purpose, and I remember that it was very strong in me. I said I want to have the best connection possible with my instrument, and this was really my motivation. So my motivation is not to be able to play well. I think this is a very bizarre concept, and it's so unclear. It's much more clear the idea of feeling well playing piano, and it's very funny that we don't think about this. So this is your motivation. If this is your motivation, the PianoWell system is made for you. I think they are very important to keep it in mind every single time. In every element you learn, I think you cannot leave these three things in your mind. They are very important.